Alright, good morning everybody. How's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well, and I welcome you to my first ever full-length PlayStation 5 stream. Alright, we're doing some stuff on the fly today. We're doing some stuff a little different than what was the original schedule. Alright, normally, well, not normally. Normally, I would start my streams around 10:15 a.m. And we do a lengthy pre-stream, right? Pretty lengthy. And then we jump into gameplay for roughly 3 hours or so, sometimes 4. It all depends on how long the pre-stream goes, honestly. And then, there'd be a second stream at night, right? Another 2-hour stream around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Today was going to be a little different because today was going to be a day when I make a pot of homemade Italian sauce. When I do that, I start my stream much later. Usually I don't start it till like 11:30-ish. And then I usually don't do a big pre-stream. Instead, I just kind of go right into the meat of the gameplay or whatever after a very brief intro. Today, everything got thrown on its head. My wife's not feeling very well today. And because of that, I was like, well, if you're not feeling good, do we really want to have it so that you have to, like, be monitoring this sauce all day, every half an hour, stirring and seasoning constantly? Or would you rather just have it that you can relax, you know? And she's like, nah, I think I'd rather just relax. Like, yeah, that's what I figured. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do my stream here today as if normal. Of course, this is not going to be a normal stream, as we're about to talk about in a moment. And then we're going to see how she feels. If she feels good enough, you know, she'll make dinner, because we have other things to make dinner today. If she's not, I'm just going to run out and grab us something to eat, so that way she doesn't have to stress herself out. So, yeah, the schedule got shifted around. And so, depending on how she feels, maybe tomorrow will be the day when we make the sauce. If not, maybe Monday will be the day when we make the sauce. It really doesn't matter. That's the good thing about this week, is that we didn't really buy too many meals that have like fresh ingredients that are going to go bad or whatever. We could kind of shift our schedule around however we need to, depending on how my wife feels. So that's why I'm doing this differently today. Okay? So the sauce is on hold. The sauce is on hold. Now this is hilarious. Jaegerman said, you couldn't just season and stir the sauce for her? It's like, oh my god. For years, I would make my sauce, and I would just do just that. I would season and stir the sauce, and people would complain that I had to take breaks so often on the stream, constantly complaining, this stream isn't good because you have to keep taking breaks to do it. Why can't your wife do it? So now she does it, and now people complain, why can't you do it? Oh my god. Jaegerman, do yourself a favor, put your head in the toilet, and flush. Alright? Alright. Anyway, so that's the deal. The stream will be basically kind of a normal stream today. There will not be frequent breaks or anything like that. Okay? Instead, it's just going to be a lot of fun messing around with the PlayStation 5 for the very first time. Okay? So, let's talk about that. Alright? Today's stream is going to be very different from other streams. Alright? Normally, a stream would have a game, and that game would be the game that I'd be playing for the entirety of the stream. We're not doing that today. Alright, what we're doing is we're exploring the PlayStation 5, and in fact, what I would say is very simple. This is the first ever exploratory PlayStation 5 stream. Okay? So, what are we going to do on this stream? We're going to check out as much as we can. We're going to be checking out the features of the PlayStation 5. We're going to be checking out games on the PlayStation 5. We're going to be doing everything we possibly can to enjoy this new console here on my first full day having it. Okay? The games that I currently have for it are as follows. Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Bug Snacks, and Astro's whatever it's called. Astro's Crazy Wild Ride or whatever. I don't even know the name of it. Those are the games I have for it now. Now, I'm not saying that in the future I might not have more. The other games that are possible are something like Sackboy, and Godfall, and I certainly could get a game like Yakuza 7, the PS4 version of it, I could just download on here, among other things. But I figure 6 games is probably more than enough for us to dabble with today. You know, I think 6 games to test out is a lot to mess around with, and I don't think that we're going to need to, we're not going to need more than that. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens today. This should be fun. I get the feeling you guys are going to want me to jump around a lot. You're not going to have me, oh, just keep playing the same game for 3 hours. It's going to be, all right, you played this one for 45 minutes. Can you try another one? Or can you try this feature of the PS5 or that or this? And that's really what this stream is all about. Okay? I already have some really good things to say about the PlayStation 5, and quite frankly, I have some criticisms that I want to get out there before we get further in, and I'm not going to talk about that right now because I want to get on camera for that and actually show you exactly what I mean. There's been a couple things that really annoyed me about the PlayStation 5, and I want to get those out there because I feel almost no one is giving that kind of criticism. It's more like just kiss the console's ass instead of being honest. You know, instead of being honest about this. So we'll see, but I got stuff to talk about. All right, I got stuff to talk about, my friends, and I want to talk about it. All right. So we'll see how this goes today. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So that's today. All right, today. And by the way, that's both streams today is going to be that. It's going to be me just messing around with the PlayStation 5. It's not going to be anything concrete. It's just going to be we mess around and switch between games and have fun. All right. Tomorrow, what I'd like to maybe do is have the first day ever where I do set a set schedule for the PlayStation 5. Maybe two playthroughs. One on the first stream, one on the late stream. And I don't know what those games will be. I guess it'll be highly dependent on what you guys say, depending on today's stream, right? If let's say we play every game today for like an hour or half an hour, whatever ones you like the most, maybe that's what we determine will be the very first full gameplay streams, playthrough streams tomorrow of PlayStation 5. All right, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing on Monday. Okay. There's a percentage sign in my tip skull. Oh, thanks. A typo. There we go. Eradicate the mistakes. Before we even get into anything, I want to say something, guys. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you. Why do I say that? I'll tell you why I say that. Because you guys have been very patient this week with the fact that I did not get my PlayStation 5 on launch day because of an Amazon error. You guys were very patient with the fact that all day yesterday we were all waiting for the PS5 to arrive and didn't show up until pretty damn late, and so I could only do a late stream of it. You guys have been super supportive the last few days on streams. Your contributions really helped out, and I appreciate that. I really do. So thank you guys in advance for all the positivity already this weekend with the launch of PS5. I really appreciate it. You know, things didn't 100% go to plan like I would have liked, but you guys were understanding and still supportive, and I appreciate that very much. Okay, today, obviously, if you cheer, sub, or tip, I'll give you a shout out, and I'll just say this: all contributions are appreciated. There's actually, at this point, no real preferred method of contribution. However you would like to contribute. Cheering, subbing, or tipping is all appreciated. We do have a subscriber goal for the month. And last night, holy shit, were we propelled towards hitting the goal. We were only at around 750 subs at the beginning of yesterday. We're now at 808 subscribers on the channel. So we are only a few away, like less than 20 subs away from hitting the sub goal for the month. And if we do that, the Christmas event is locked. All right? The Christmas event will be locked if we hit that. Maybe we can hit it today. That would be pretty damn cool. All right? So thank you very much to those who do contribute. Obviously, subscribing gives you many benefits. You get over 40 emotes. Yes, over 40 emotes. Plus, you don't have to watch advertisements when I run them if you're a paid sub. And you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. So that's a lot of positives there, right? Good stuff. The Christmas event is pretty special. It's a marathon that I do right before Christmas, where I do a variety of games. This year, I can predict it'll probably be a mix of multiplayer games like Call of Duty and maybe some Fall Guys, mixed in with games that you guys are probably going to be nominating. So that's fun, and plus I'll be dressed up in festive attire. I usually wear a variety of Christmas-themed sweaters. And in addition to that, I'll be drinking, which I never do on stream these days. I only do it once a year for Christmas. Whether it's some beer or some eggnog, maybe some hard liquor, some Christmas-themed whiskey or something. Who knows? It's going to be fun, though. So please consider subbing if you're not subbed. Also, 'tis the season. All right? 'Tis the season to give. If you give a gifted sub to someone, that also helps the channel, and I'm sure someone would be very appreciated if you were to gift them a sub during this PlayStation 5 coverage. Okay? Alrighty then. Now, before we get to shout-outs, there's only one news story I want to talk about. People seem to be giving me shit for it, for criticizing it on Twitter, even though I know exactly what the news story was saying, and I completely disagree with this line of reasoning. So, Phil Spencer was interviewed Oh, boy. We usually know when Phil Spencer's interviewed, you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. You do. You just have to. Because the guy's the head of Microsoft. Usually what he's saying has some kind of a spin. And I just found it funny because they interview him. And he basically says, man, you know, console gaming is actually shrinking as a percentage of the overall gaming market. Just take a look at things like mobile games, which are ever increasing. And then he mentions cloud gaming, which I still don't understand how people think cloud gaming is a huge thing. Because it's still console gaming, it's just in the cloud. So I don't know why people think that cloud gaming is a different category than, like, console gaming. I don't really understand that. But I think the major point that Phil Spencer was trying to make was that even though consoles are very popular right now, especially with the launch of these new consoles, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, etc., that it's still actually a shrinking part of the market because mobile gaming is so much on the rise, okay? And I mean, that's a fair point. You can definitely argue that's a fair point. But the thing that gets me is that, like, yesterday, and I'm not even exaggerating, yesterday, the headline news from Microsoft Studios was Xbox Series S and X have sold a record number of consoles, the most that have ever sold ever of any console launch from Microsoft. This is unprecedented and we're doing really good. Okay? So that's basically what the news was yesterday for Microsoft. Today the news is, oh, console gaming is shrinking because mobile gaming is on the rise. It's like, what? Wait a minute. You're one day you're celebrating, the next day you're like, you're sad or something. You know, it doesn't seem to make sense. It's not congruent with a train of thought. Now listen, I totally understand mobile gaming and its insane rise. Mobile gaming is ridiculously profitable. Mobile gaming is becoming a bigger and bigger market share of the giant pie that is gaming as a whole. But, there's got to be a but. Because you have to have everything in a certain frame of reference and a certain context. Mobile gaming is not the same as console gaming. It's not equivalent. It's not even the same product. You know? Are they games? Yes. But you might as well say sports, but then categorize, you know, one sport that's ridiculously different from another sport and act like it's the same thing when it's not. You know? For example, console games are big, meaty experiences. You drop a set price for a console game and you get a set amount of gameplay hours, usually with a definitive ending. There are definitely exceptions to this rule with the games as a service model that is seeming to becoming prevalent, even though it doesn't make sense because these games keep flopping on consoles. For example, Marvel's Avengers as of recent. But the truth of the matter is, it's very different than a mobile gaming experience. A mobile gaming experience, number one, the reason why mobile games have as much market share as they do is because they're free. Much like Fortnite, which was free on every console and became the biggest console game for about 2 to 3 years, mobile games are free. So the moment that you get a phone, which everyone needs to have in the modern era, right? You don't need to drop a ridiculous amount of money just to play mobile games because everyone's already buying a smartphone. For communication purposes, for access to the internet. So since it's a device you already have in your household, there's no extra pre-installation cost. It's something you already need. Therefore, mobile games have a way to work themselves into your normal life without any kind of required cost. You see? Mobile games are free. You don't have to spend any money to get it. You download every mobile game for free off of the App Store. Right? There's a few exceptions, and by the way, the ones that you have to pay up front usually are not the best sellers. It's usually the freebie games. Free to play, but the catch is that you need to spend money on them, whether it's microtransactions to buy loot box pulls, or whether it's buy resources to upgrade said characters, or you know what I mean? Every one of these mobile games has this microtransaction formula that becomes incredibly addicting, that requires repeated ongoing purchases. And unlike most console games, mobile games do not have a definitive ending. They just go on peripherally forever with added events, added content, added new units or upgrades or whatever. You always need to keep playing and keep spending to be one of the top players in a mobile game, or even just be current on an event in a mobile game. I can tell you, from games I used to play, my God, Dokkan Battle. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, if you didn't drop money to get every new summon character, you couldn't even play the new events. The events would be worthless unless you had the new character. Okay? It's pretty stupid the way that these work, but at the same time, I can tell you the formula works. People will drop money over and over and over. It is an addictive process. It's very much a predatory process. That's why in certain countries right now, there is current ongoing legal battles regarding microtransactions, loot boxes, and arguing that they are gambling and that it is highly addictive and should not even be available to children because it is a predatory practice. Okay? Now, the reason I'm bringing up all this is to show you guys, most console games, although some of them do have some of these practices, most of them do not. Outside of maybe like the 2K sports games like FIFA, what other mobile games, what other console games absolutely rely on this crazy microtransaction model to thrive? Answer is next to none. Most of them are digestible experiences with a set length of gameplay time. You pay a certain amount of money up front to get that gameplay time, and then you're satisfied. You understand when you buy Spider-Man Miles Morales, this is not a game that goes on forever. You know it's going to have an end, and you're okay with dropping $50 to play it. Versus a mobile game, it's free to play, but to actually get ongoing content out of it, you have to keep sinking money into it. All right? So, do I understand that the gaming market as a whole is going more towards mobile games? Yes. Do I understand that mobile games are becoming the most profitable games there are? Yes. But I also know, as an actual gamer who plays them, they are not equivalent gameplay experiences. You do not get a robust gameplay experience from a mobile game. You get repetition, you get grinding, you get addiction. And that's really where this comes into play. Yeah, the game market is changing, but not for the better, not for the safer. And you know what I mean? Like, very frankly, to be very honest with all of you, it may not last forever. This is something that has become more prevalent in the last 5 years, the whole mobile game formula taking over, and it may very well be outlawed. We may have courts worldwide ruling that this kind of business practice is gambling, and therefore it's illegal unless it's regulated like gambling. And by the way, if mobile games were regulated like gambling is, it would be nowhere near as profitable for these companies. They would be required to disclose odds. They would be under constant audit to make sure that the odds are correct and they're not cheating you when you spend money, which, I hate to tell you, likely these companies are cheating you if you're dropping money into a mobile game. They're probably full of shit with the odds to actually giving you something good, you know? Seriously, like, this may not last. This is just because this is the Wild West of gaming. I mean that. We're in a time period now where gaming has become the biggest entertainment medium in the last 10 years, the most profitable and the biggest. Great, but there's just little to no regulation around gaming right now. Mobile games, copyright issues, or fair use issues for Let's Plays and everything. No one knows anything. Nothing's been hashed out in court. We're using these draconian laws that are incredibly outdated to try to regulate things in the modern era when it comes to gaming, and they don't apply. So even though mobile games today may be legal, tomorrow they may not be. Phil Spencer should not be coming out as the head of Microsoft Game Studios, worrying that mobile games are taking up a big part of the market. You know what he should be focusing on? His fucking game studio putting out good games. Instead of worrying about, oh my god, wow, mobile games really are kicking our ass. It's like, yeah, mobile games which are addictive, which are deceptive, which are free to play on a thing that everyone already has and has no actual hardware installation required. Yeah, they're big because there's something that just kind of happened in the last decade, and chances are things are going to change. They're not going to be able to do that shit forever. Much like everything, the bubble's going to burst, and it's not going to be able to be raking the fucking money from these addicted people forever. It's going to be a business model that's going to change when regulation finally catches up with it, just like everything else. So I don't know why Phil Spencer's worried about that. He should be worried about his own fucking consoles and his own game studios putting out games for the consoles and actually making money doing that. Now, I understand that Phil Spencer just wants to sell the Xbox Game Pass, and I think that Microsoft has done a really good job of that. buying Bethesda was like the nail in the coffin of not the nail in the coffin, but that's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say is, like, it was like the biggest thing, the icing on the cake, the biggest topping of why you should get Xbox Game Pass. Not only is it EA Play, but the Bethesda studios are now under the Microsoft umbrella. So, like, if you get an Xbox Series S or X, you're going to want Game Pass. If you have a PC, you're probably going to want Game Pass. You see? They've done a great job of that. They are setting themselves up for success in this next console generation. I applaud what they've done. Why is Phil Spencer doing interviews complaining about mobile games? What? Of all the things to be thinking about, right now, all the things going on in the world with gaming and everything, the launch of new consoles, he's worried about mobile games. They're not even your competitor. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not your direct competitor. It's a complete different product. It's not even an equivalent experience to playing a console game. I'll go out as much to say this. People who primarily play console games are not the same market as people who are playing these mobile games. Okay? People who are sitting there playing mobile games all day, dumping hundreds of dollars into them, are not the same people who are going to go out and spend $500 on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X and then dump hundreds of dollars in those console experiences. They're looking for an addictive, quick, easy-to-play experience and a feeling of maybe community with a group of people who are all playing the same tap game. It's not even the same. It really doesn't feel the same playing a mobile game versus playing a console game. It's like apples to oranges. So why is he talking about this in the interview? To me, it blows my mind. He's the head of Xbox. He is the head of Xbox, and this is his mindset. It's like, dude, stay the course. Stay focused on what you're doing. You did a great job with Game Pass. You're doing a good thing. You're going to sell a lot of consoles. You're going to sell a lot of Game Pass subscription. You're going to make a ton of money. Stop fucking worrying about what these people over here are doing that's dishonest and addictive and fucked up and likely the bubble's going to burst and they're not going to be able to do it anymore. Focus on what you're doing and stop trying to compare what they're doing to you, what you do. It's not even the same. It's not even close to being the same. Okay? But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. It blows my mind that one day Microsoft could come out and be like, we've sold the most consoles ever. This is amazing news, and everyone should rejoice in the power of console gaming. And then the next day, oh man, console gaming's on the decline because that mobile game is kicking our ass. It's like, what? What the freak is going on? It's like, talk about being bipolar. I've stopped reading gaming news for a few days here so I can enjoy the new consoles and I don't have to worry about these people crying about mobile games. Holy shit. Alright, I'm going to calm down now. Everyone's like, calm down, Phil. Alright, I'm going to calm down now. Let's get the shout. That's the only story I had to talk about. Let's get the shout outs. Okay? Hold on, I gotta throw this out. I just balled during that rant, I balled up all the twisties that were holding together all the wires for the PlayStation 5 as I unboxed it last night. I have a ball of twisties. Let me throw this out before my cat gets to it. Okay, because he will get to it and he will chase that all around the damn house. Okay. So let's get started. First of all, Overnight Narcissus resubscribed to the channel for 13 months, and thank you very much for the resub, Narcissus. Okay? Excuse me. This is hilarious. Someone in the stream chat just says, don't make fun of bipolar disorder because my uncle has it. Just because I reference it, because something is very similar to it, doesn't mean I'm making fun of it. Perhaps you're just being very, very sensitive, and you should grow the fuck up. Golden Colts did a couple overnight cheers. The first cheer says, do you ever buy olive loaf? It's like bologna with pimento olives embedded in it. It's a choice lunch meat. I've never had it. I know exactly what it is, but I don't know. I've never had it, so I don't know what it would taste like. Okay? Golden Coast shoot again. He said, or you might have souse loaf. It's bologna with pickles and peppers. No, I've never had that. Actually, that would sound good to me. I love both pickles and peppers. So that inside bologna might be good. And then Golden Colts cheered another time. Thanks for all the overnight cheers, Golden Colts. Okay. Now, shout-outs for some people who've tipped this morning. The first tip is from members of Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is insanely long name. I kind of don't want to put that on the leaderboard because it's so long the leaderboard's going to be stretched out. So maybe someone will tip bigger than $1. But anyway, the first tip is from members of Earth, Wind, and Fire. And he said, you haven't mentioned this yet, but this seems to be the first console launch that is not about gimmicks or cameras. The PlayStation 5 didn't even package a camera, which is great. You know, I mean, that's a fair enough point. Usually with console launches, there are bundles that are available to buy with some gimmick shit. But I'll be honest, the last console gen was the worst, especially with Xbox One requiring you to buy a fucking Kinect at launch, which was the biggest bonehead move in gaming console history. And that's why Don Matrick doesn't work in the gaming industry anymore. But before then, there weren't really any gimmicks. I remember Xbox 360, PS3 launch. There weren't many gimmicks with that. I mean, there were features of the PlayStation 3 that drove the cost up, like the backwards compatibility that they later removed to drive down the price of the console. But I don't remember gimmicks that gen. I don't remember gimmicks the gen before either. I think really it was last console gen's launch was the big gimmick time, because people were still trying to push motion controls down your throat. They were trying to sell PlayStation 4 bundles with the PlayStation camera and the stupid PS Move controllers, which no one needed or wanted. You know, like, I think it was last time. I don't think besides then, maybe I'm wrong, all right? But I don't remember any other gimmicks from, like, major gimmicks, besides maybe the NES had the stupid, remember the power pad, which was the floor pad you ran on and only like 3 games used it? Yeah, I swear to God, every store back in the day when you went to buy an NES had the power pad bundled with NES, even though only 3 games used it. So, anyway, so people are saying that the PlayStation 5 music is good for the pre-streams. Let me listen to it. I'm not hearing it. Oh. Oh, wow, that's nice. This is the first time I'm actually, like, listening to it. I just put the headphones up. That is nice. That is, like, soothing. I didn't know that it was... I mean, I could turn that off, obviously. I did that on PlayStation 4. But this is, like, relaxing. I could just sit here and listen to this all day. Oh, man. Alright, so I won't turn it off yet. We'll leave it on for now, since you guys seem to like it, but maybe eventually I'll turn it off. Alright, continuing on, members of Earth, Wind & Fire tipped me another $1, said I'm sensing Bug Snacks is not meant to be a kid's game. I don't know. I think the premise of eating Bug Snacks sounds like a drug addiction. I'm going to say this, alright, and I played it last night. It's the only game so far I've played on PlayStation 5. Bug Snacks. I played it for about an hour. I feel that Bug Snacks is going to be one of the best games of this year. I'm not kidding you. Here's why. Because it hides under the premise of being a cutesy kiddie game. I get the feeling there's something ominous going on in the world of Bug Snacks. There is something weird going on that's going to happen. That's going to be like a crazy thing. I was saying it's going to be like a survival horror game. Like maybe the Bug Snacks turn on you and try to eat you by the end of the game. Or maybe there's like some really sick, demented thing that's going to happen. I don't know. I'm guessing. Okay? I'm serious. I'm just guessing. But I almost feel like the game's going to be different. It's not what you think it is. It seems too simple on its face value to be what it is. I think it's going to change. Okay? I could be completely wrong, though. I guess we'll see. Members of Earth, Wind & Fire did another $1 tip. And so before you start playing games today, look at the store and see all the odds and ends they've got. Well, I just very briefly looked at it yesterday, and it's like a bunch of stupid, like, indie shit. That's all, like, PlayStation 4 stuff. For some reason, they list it on PlayStation 5 like it's part of the store, when in reality, you're just downloading a PS4 game, shovelware, you know? We could do that, but the store is very different from PlayStation 4, so it's a little confusing. But we could definitely do that today. Texas Gaming tipped me $1. I'm not sure if you have this issue or not. A lot of people, including myself, have an issue with their PlayStation 5s. It seems that the front USB port does not charge your controller while the console is in rest mode. The 2 USB ports in the back do. Really? If that's the case, that's not good, because I had my controller plugged in overnight to the front port, and it looked like it was charging, like it was glowing. I had it in rest mode, which the console turns into that, like yellowish orange glow, and my controller was glowing yellowish orange. So I assumed that meant it was charging, right? So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's an issue with certain models that aren't working properly. Okay, but it seemed to work for me. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I mean, it's been plugged in all night. When we first try this out, we'll see if it did charge overnight or whatever. But to me, it looked like it worked. So all I can do is give you my take from my personal experience, and it looked like for me it was working. Maybe it is an issue, but maybe it's not every console. I don't know. Old McLeod also said, I discovered that problem and I moved it to the back. Hopefully something Sony can update soon. That's weird because I swear mine worked. I swear mine worked. By the way, we're up to $4 in tips so far. And we still don't have anyone with a bigger tip than $1. I really don't want to put members of Earth, Wind, and Fire on the leaderboard because it's such a big name. But we'll see what happens here. Super Blind Man did 100-bit cheer. He says, did you get the cable yet? I did not. In fact, let me see here. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. I need to update this. I guess I just use the app. I have the Amazon app. As of this morning, it said that it was going to ship today, but it hadn't yet. It says it's arriving today by 10 p.m., but it hasn't even shipped yet. What that means is that basically this cable is in stock at a distribution center. It's ready to go, and they're probably just going to toss it on a truck and have it come here sometime today, but there's no priority on it because it's a $10 cable. For those who don't know what Super Blind Man's talking about, all right, there is a cable for basically what it does, it splits 3.5 millimeter audio. All right, it splits it. And what it does for the intents and purposes of the PlayStation 5, all right, is it will make it so that you can still get 3D audio in your headphones, but then you'll also have an audio out that you can make go to your capture setup and basically capture audio while you're still using headphones. Because the major problem right now with PlayStation 5, we're going to talk about this today because it's going to be a major issue for me. You basically have two options when it comes to the audio of the PlayStation 5. All right? Two options. Option one, use stereo sound. How? Well, what you need to do is you need to hook up your headphones to an audio source that's not the PlayStation 5. So, for example, if your PS5 is hooked up to your TV, you'll hook up your headphones to your TV audio out, and you'll get stereo sound. Okay? There's a pass-through. Basically, every TV has it, an audio pass-through. That's what I'm using right now. I have my headphones are hooked up to my actual receiver, my Astro receiver or whatever it is, and that receiver is hooked up to my TV. That's exactly the same thing I do for the Switch. So I'm getting stereo sound right now, which sucks. This is supposed to be a new console. I should be getting surround sound or 3D audio, but I'm only getting stereo audio. Why? Because if you hook up headphones directly to the PlayStation 5, it says, oh, that's your audio out source, and therefore you can't get audio out to your stream. I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. You can't actually get audio out to your stream if you have headphones plugged in. It's really stupid. Now, the workaround for this is to split the audio. So that's what this cable is for. It's going to split the audio coming out of the controller. One feed will go to my headphones, and one feed will go to my PC. Now, we have no idea what's going to happen when I do that. If I plug this audio feed into my PC, will the PC know what it is? Will the PC say, oh, this is a discernible audio source that now it'll play and you can capture through OBS? Or is it going to say, I don't know what this is, and scramble the audio? Because that's exactly what the PC does if you try to do surround sound via Dolby Digital, which is the old standard for surround sound that pretty much everything still uses. It scrambles it, and when you listen to it on the stream, it sounds terrible. There's been a few times when I was messing with my PS4 settings, and I accidentally told it to output the surround sound Dolby Digital to the stream, and you guys were like, oh my god, my ears were blown out because it sounds like... It's like really loud, screeching, terrible sounds. Okay? So, I don't want that to happen. But we don't know what's going to happen. This cable is going to split the audio, and I have no idea if this 3D audio, this proprietary 3D audio that Sony generates on the PlayStation 5, will my PC be able to tell what it is and discern it, and will you guys be able to hear it on the stream? Or will it just be like fucked up audio? Or will it not work at all? It's another thing. I might just plug it in and you can't hear it at all. It's dead. It doesn't do shit. Okay? So I guess we'll see. This cable's supposed to be coming by the end of today, and I obviously will try it out when it arrives. I do have an extra stereo cable to run from this thing to my PC, but I don't know what's going to happen until we get it. So we'll find out. All right? We'll find out later today, I guess. All right. So Super Blind Man, you were the top cheer, except someone else already cheered bigger. So I'm not going to put down the leaderboard until we wait a second here. Members of Earth, Wind, and Fire tipped another $1 saying, I play Astro first, being it's packaged with the console. You'd think it would be the superior experience to show off everything about the console. Well, for what I'm going to understand, it's a really good showcase of the DualSense controller and the haptic feedback. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be like showcasing the graphical capabilities of the console, you know, but it's definitely something we'll probably do today. I mean, I think people would want to see me do it today with all the things we're going to be doing, okay? So Rob on Wheels is the top cheer of the day so far with a 500-bit cheer. Says, don't drink to excess. Remember what happened before? Thinking of you. Oh, I know, Rob. Listen, I'm not going to drink to excess. And let me tell you something, Rob. My life today is much better than it was a couple years ago when I drank and basically got depressed on stream during the Christmas event 2 years ago. I'm in a much better life position right now. Seriously. Like 2 years ago, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen with me, you know, in the future financially and everything with my family. I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay in the house. Things are much different now. Much better now. So really, I don't have anything really to be too sad about. So, number one, you're right. I shouldn't be drinking a ton on that stream anyway, but I don't think it's going to be anything negative. Okay? Okay. X-Venom Symbiote has resubscribed for 28 months. Thank you very much, X-Venom Symbiote. I appreciate that. Jom Ann, cheers, and I just got here. How'd you get started talking about all this during the no pre-stream? There was no, it's not a no pre-stream day. I changed the schedule, Jom Ann. The no pre-stream is going to happen when I do my sauce, and I didn't do the sauce today. The schedule got shifted around, okay? Dooley is here, and he tipped me $5, which is the biggest tip of the day. Thank God that I don't have to frickin' put that giant name on the leaderboard. Thank you, Dooley. Let's get you up on the leaderboard. Dooley 258. $5 tip. And he says, enjoying your PlayStation 5 coverage so far. Nice to watch for those of us who are not lucky enough to get one yet. Keep up the good work. Yes, and primarily that's one of the reasons why I love doing this for a living. Because I realize, number one, there's some of you who can't get it anyway because it's not even out in your country yet, right? In Europe, certain parts of Europe don't even get it till the 19th, so that's another 5 days you guys gotta wait. But in addition to that, there's people who just can't get it at all. You tried to pre-order it, you couldn't get it, you can't afford it, I get it. That's what I'm here for, man. To show you guys an honest take on the console. Instead of being a paid shill like everyone else who got it early, I'm going to be honest, and I've already got harsh criticisms for this console today. Just to tell you guys, I'm telling you, already I'm a little annoyed at a few things about it. And I'm hoping that together live we can figure out some of this shit. Because this console is not self-explanatory in a few things, and I'm kind of peeved that I bought a console and I can't figure out how to download shit. It's pretty frustrating. So, we shall see today. Alright? Super Blind Man did another 200-bit cheer. He said, for what it's worth, Astro's Playroom is a great showcase of the DualSense and probably isn't the best showcase of graphics. I'd also say it's more than just a tech demo. It's a game worthy of being called a game. Filled with collectibles and trophies. It even has its own platinum. Cool. I'm excited, and you know, I understand that. I'm definitely not going to sleep on it. I definitely want to check it out. It's free anyway, right? So I'm definitely going to be checking it out and likely playing the whole thing. Jom Ann did a 60-bit cheer. Says you put up Ron and not Rob. But I am having lots of problems. I put a percentage symbol into my tips goal, and now I got Ron on wheels instead of Rob on wheels. I'm a mess today. I apologize wholeheartedly, Rob. That is a big mistake on my behalf, and I just fixed it. Thanks for telling me, guys. Little Ivy22 cheered. He said, Death Counter Raging must be a Soulsborne stream. We haven't even played anything yet, and I don't know if I'm doing Demon Souls first anyway. I just put that up as a placeholder because I don't know what you guys want me to do. So, in fact, I can tell you, first thing I want to do is go through the menus and the dashboard and the store a little bit before we play a game. So I'm actually going to change that right now to just chatting. Alright. So that we can mess around with it a little bit before we get into a game. And then when we determine what the game will be that I play first, then I'll change it. Okay? Let's see here. Technical 2070 tipped me $1 says, I love your PS5 setup. I have an Elgato game capture. What is that HDCP breaker? Let me put it this way. You cannot buy it anywhere online. It's a custom thing that I researched years and years ago. And it was because at the time there was no viable way to capture from PS3. There just wasn't. So I looked into it, I researched it, and I got it, and the truth of the matter is, I'm almost positive you can't buy it anymore. All right? I'm almost positive it's not possible to even get that thing anymore, because I'm using these boxes and shit that I bought like 10 years ago. I'm almost positive you can't get it anymore. It's not like a thing that's really possible to do. So the other thing is, by the way, it's not super dependable. I've had a lot of issues with it over the years where I went to do it and it will, you know what it does? It eats HDMI cables. Because I guess when you're ripping video and audio and then combining it again, I guess it puts a lot of stress on the cable. I'm not even kidding, probably about 7 HDMI cable failures with that setup over the years. So it's not a very easy thing. Yeah, I can't even tell you right now. It would be way too complicated. What I would say is, if you're gonna have to look at articles like 10 years old and look for a way to say HDCP bypass PS3, and maybe you'll get information on how to do it. Okay, but I wouldn't even be able to help you. My hardware is 10 years old, and you can't even buy it anymore. All right, maybe there's a new, a more modern solution for the problem. Jay Hale has tipped me $20, and I'm having issues setting up the audio on my PS5. It won't let me have separate input and output. One for my USB headset output, and the other for my USB microphone input. Any insight? Now that's interesting. So what you're saying is you have a separate mic and headset. Both are USB devices, okay? And when you're trying to do it, it's not allowing you to have two separate devices. Is that correct? See, for me, I've never had that issue because always my microphone was part of my headset. I've never had two separate devices. So even PlayStation 4 era wasn't really an issue. It was always all through the same thing, and then you could just test it out in the settings. This is not shocking to me that you're saying this is an issue, since they already cut out the ability to do dual audio out on the PlayStation 5, which was very present on the PlayStation 3 and 4. I'm not shocked that now they've removed maybe another thing that used to work. I can't help you, sadly, because I don't use that. Like right now, I have no microphone for the thing. Zero. I have no mic that will work for it because my headset is plugged in via my Astro receiver via the TV audio out, which means it's not hooked up to be a mic. The only way I could have a mic is through my controller, and maybe that's what you're going to have to do. I hate to say it. Maybe you're going to have to use your DualSense as your microphone. As shitty as that probably will be quality-wise, it may be the only solution for now until third-party, developers like Astro and Turtle Beach and other companies have an opportunity. Razer, they have an opportunity to sit down and develop a solution, because it sounds like there is no solution right now. It sounds like you're using the mic on the controller or you're out of luck. Okay? Sorry, I wish I could help you, Jay Hale, but I get the feeling this console gen, just like last console gen, they remove a bunch of stuff and then maybe later on they try to add stuff back. Okay? Timble/Cheers, I feel like the first game definitely should be Astro. To get that out of the way, and then you can see and learn things about the controller, and of course no one else will want it. I feel big games like Spider-Man and Demon's Souls should be set for a longer time than for a first time playing it. LP101 Cheers says, you didn't view the whole of the PlayStation 5 UI. Press down on the thumbstick and it tells you how long a mission quest is to beat it. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. You guys are definitely going to help me. You guys are definitely going to help me with this, because I don't know much about the new stuff. You guys got to help guide me through it. You're going to know more than me, because I didn't research ahead of time and spoil myself like a lot of people did. Thank you for the tip. Members EWF tipped me $1 and says, all right, I've abbreviated my name to make it easier. Do you think you could look at all the games you have in your library? I'm curious if the Disney collection is available to play on PS5, since I bought it last year. You would think it is. Didn't they only say that there's only like 20 games that don't work on PS5? I'm almost positive they said there's very few games, and I think it was like all indie games. That almost every single game for PlayStation 4 runs on PlayStation 5. I think they said that. But, I mean, I have like 400 games in my library, dude. That'd take like hours to go through. I guess we'll see. Super Blind Man Cheer says, I might be able to help with J Hale's mic issue. Alright, J Hale, listen up. The same issue existed on PlayStation 4. Likely what's happening is the mic has a monitoring jack, and the PlayStation 5 is seeing that as a separate headset all its own. The only fix if you want to set up like that is to use a mic that doesn't have a monitoring jack. The blue snowball works fine. There you go. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but maybe that helps you, Jay Hale. We stream No Games. Cheers. Can you try out your arcade stick on the PlayStation 5? I'm wondering if you need to buy a new stick for the PlayStation 5 or if it's backwards compatible. We could. That's one of the things we can do today as we're messing around. I'd certainly be okay with that. Just plugging it in and see if it works, because if it doesn't, I can't play Street Fighter on this, which means I have to keep my PlayStation 4, right? I have to keep it around. Okay, let's get the shout-outs, and then we'll end pre-stream and we'll get started. Like I said, I want to jump right in. I want to see what we can figure out on this thing today. Already, I want to tell you guys about some of the criticisms and things that I have for it. Timbo Slice this year again. He says, creepy how lifelike the console graphics are. I got Call of Duty on Series X. I started a campaign today. You can see the wrinkles on Ronald Reagan's face. Well, there you go. Thank you to those who are the top cheers of the week. By the way, this is not accurate. I know that sucks that it's not accurate. But for some reason, Twitch in the middle of this week reset the leaderboard. So we had people who cheered on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the leaderboard reset. So I apologize to those who cheered on Tuesday and Wednesday that you're not showing on the leaderboard. But I can only read what's here. Okay? Thank you to the top cheerers. Stinkin' Burrows is in 10th place. Timbo is in 9th. That Anonymous in 8th. Spartan King in 7th. A tie for 5th between Freudian Slit and Big Ol' Bean. 4th place is Ninstar Room. 3rd place, Super Blind Man. 2nd place, Sambuca. And 1st place, Rob on Wheels. By the way, Rob on Wheels just cheered and said, can you get the correct version of Miles? I think I've gotten it. I think I have it now. I think what it was that I paid $50, and by default, the game for some reason wanted to download the PS4 version, but I think I got the PS5 version. Seriously, we have to figure this out today. I'm going to tell you, this is one of my major criticisms of PlayStation 5. The UI is absolutely terrible when it comes to downloading the proper versions of games. It's insanely confusing and doesn't even have enough detail to tell you if you're downloading what you want. It's bad. And I really feel that this is the #1 thing they need to fix. Because if you buy a game and you're trying to download it, you should be getting the version of the game you want. You shouldn't be confused. It baffles my mind that the makers of this console didn't think this would be an issue, that you don't even know what you're downloading. So, we're going to talk about that in a minute, okay? Anyway, thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions to the channel. Okay. Super Bad Cat, Ramses Dev, Doodly Dread, Diocletian, Django Pops, and Alcoholic Mormon, along with many others, but these are the guys who show up on the leaderboard. Thank you for gifting a single sub. Internet Famous McCroy gifted 2 subs this week. Beastbod gifted 4. Hell Knight 8719 gifted a ton. Alright? A ton. I mean, 5. That's a lot. And then, Hot Hand Heck gifted 7. Okay? Good stuff. So thank you guys very much for the gifted subs. More contributions. Timbo just cheered again. No, hold on. I skipped something. Members of Earth, Wind, and Fire just hit me another $1. Says, do you think it's a glitch you got Demon Souls pre-order content, or did anyone else get it? I have no idea. But I know I didn't pre-order it. I got it. I just downloaded it, and boom, I had the pre-order content. I don't even know what the pre-order content was, but I got it. Maybe they're just giving it away because they don't care about pre-orders anymore. I think it's pretty stupid to even have pre-order exclusive content anymore. It's dumb. Timbo Slice cheered. He said, I played Ghost of Tsushima yesterday, running at 60 frames per second. It's amazing. I can imagine. The game's gorgeous enough at 30 frames. LP101 took me $1. Can you play the PS4 version of Yakuza on PS5? Yes, you can. Now, I don't know if it'll run any better. There was no reports that the game would perform any better on PS5 via PS4. Some games did. This game, there was no explanations. I don't know if it would. They did say they are making a actual upgraded PS5 version of the game, but it will not be ready until late March of 2021. So, there likely won't be much of an upgrade. But yeah, you could. You could play it on here. Okay? Alright, you guys ready? Oh, hold on. Sambuca 2020 just subscribed for 22 months. Thank you, Sambuca. Appreciate that. Very nice. Alright, are you guys ready? Are you ready? Alright. Let's end the pre-stream. I'm just going to take a leak quickly. Like a minute. Not even... I don't have to use the bathroom badly or nothing. I just got to take a leak. And then we're going to get started. The first thing I would like to do is just kind of walk around the dashboard and tell you guys my initial impressions and some of the things I have questions and criticisms about before we get to games, and then we'll jump into games. More cheers just came in. Alexander Rossi cheers. And when you unlock a trophy, hit the PlayStation button. They reworked it so it shows the description without interrupting your gameplay. Cool. Airman T cheers says, don't you love the yummy yellow cigarette smoke stains white consoles get? No, because I don't smoke. So therefore, I would not see any of those stains. Okay. Are we ready to go now? Alright. Ninja Star Runes is cheers. Can we play Bug Stacks instead? Hankering for more instead of some ancient-ass Demon Souls. I don't know what game we're playing first. Relax. Thank you for the cheer. Alright. Brief break for me to use the restroom, and then I'll be back, and then we can get started. Alright, guys? I know you're excited. Thanks. I'll be back in a sec.